All right, what's up, my peeps? Al Smith here. Today I am at a new yard, and this yard is not just a new yard, which makes this thing even so much more special, but it is a subscriber's yard. I have a subscriber, and her name is Faye. She comments on my videos on a regular basis, and she started commenting on my videos a while back when I was at the Tangerine House, and she asked me where was I, located, and she was just trying to get some information. She was inquiring about some things, and come to find out, she lives in Jacksonville as well. And so she reached out to me, and I couldn't get her yard done at the time because I was trying to prepare for my daughter's graduation. So I told her everything that I had going on, and she actually told me that she would wait until I had the time to come out here and do the yard. And so now is the time. And I'm very excited. I am very, very, very excited. So today what I have to do is I have to clean up the whole yard. She had a lawn care company, and I guess they wasn't showing up, and they really wasn't taking care of the yard in the way that she wanted the yard to be taken care of. And so when she started seeing my YouTube videos, she started seeing the detail and the care that I was giving to the yard, and so she wanted that. And so today, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to keep up the same. I don't know the word. I'm gonna try to keep up the same actions and intent that I normally do when it comes down to maintaining yards. And so I got to clean up this yard. The yard is massive. It is extremely big. But it's nothing that, I can't take care of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around and I'm going to show you everything that needs to be done. And then we're going to get started. All right. All right, my peeps. So let's go ahead and let's walk around. Like I say, the yard is massive yard, and it actually has greened up. I think the rain has helped it a lot, because when I came out here and did the initial estimate for the yard, it was like brown, like very brown. I was telling her to fertilize it and stuff like that, but like I say, I think because of the rain, it has really greened up. So I gotta trim these bushes. I gotta trim all of these bushes right here. These little ones I'm gonna shape up. I'm gonna trim these. These bushes over here, I'm gonna shape these up. I'm gonna shape all of these up right here. All of these, I'm gonna shape those up. I will probably shape this up, this U. She was saying she kind of likes how it looks, so I might not touch it too much, but I am gonna shape it up. The front yard is the biggest. It's bigger. I don't know if it's bigger than the back, but I mean, it's a lot of ground to cover. So it goes all the way down, almost up until the water. I think it kind of stops at a certain point, but we have all of that. We have some bushes back here. I'm gonna see if I need to do any type of shaping with those. We got this stuff up in here. This is a crepe, and basically this stuff right here, it needs to be chopped down. It's up against the house at this point, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna chop all of that down. Even the stuff that is like hanging over the roof, I would probably try to chop some of that stuff down, because I don't really like that. This bush right here, I'm gonna shape that up. This ground coverage right here, I'm gonna weed eat that. There's some saplings, I gotta knock those down. the beds. I'm gonna go through all of the beds. I'm gonna hit them with my string trimmer just to knock any big weeds down. And then I'm gonna come back with my weed killer and I'm gonna spray all of them. Everything that I see is gonna be sprayed. This is a weekly yard, so I'll be able to come back over here next week and see what's going on with it. And anything that I may miss, hit it then. This is another crepe right here. I don't know if this is my client's crepe or if this is the neighbor's crepe. I don't know. It kind of looks like it's my client's crepe, but it looks like it could be the neighbor's crepe. So again, I'm kind of lost on that one. But if she comes out and she lets me know that it is hers, I'll do a little maintenance to that as well. I'm gonna edge it, I'm gonna weed eat it, I'm gonna cut all of this here down. I probably cut it on 2, or I probably cut it on 3. I probably cut the grass on 3, just to get it nice and uniformed. All of this over here is my client's property up until this green box right here. So like I say, it is a massive yard, massive yard, but it's nothing that I can't take care of. And with me coming here on a weekly basis, that's gonna be even better because I can stay on top of things. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and stop yapping and we're gonna get started. Y'all know my saying. If you ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it. All right, it's looking pretty good. I'm not really gonna worry about the stuff that's up there at the top. It's not playing too much of a factor, to be honest. It's looking good though. Looking good. Looking good. I'm gonna start weed eating everything. Burning out these beds. The weeds that's in the cracks. And we gonna be almost up out of here. 37 minutes. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Especially for all of the stuff that I just did. So it's looking good. Looking real good. All right, my peeps, I've already blown it off. I didn't really feel like trying to capture all of that. But the last thing I gotta do now is spray weed killer. So let's get to it. All right, my peeps, let's go ahead and do the final walkthrough. As y'all know, if y'all don't know anything else about me, my edges are gonna be nice and crispy. Now, I will say that because the grass hadn't been cut in a while, I thought that the edges were gonna be a little bit more difficult, but man, I put that new blade on there, that new edger blade, and it went right through it like butter. It's the edges all the way down. Here's the edges on this side. Please forgive me, I need to adjust my tripod. There we go. So yeah, that's the edges right here along this sidewalk. What I just showed you was the edges along the curb. This is a crepe. I don't know if it's my client's on, but I still did weed it around it. I might have even cut a little bit too far over, but I wasn't really worried about it. This is the front yard. I was able to put some stripes on it. I went across it probably about 2-3 times. And I didn't have to, but I wanted to make sure that I was catching everything. Like, I didn't want to have no blade of grass up that wasn't supposed to be there. So I made sure that I did that. This is how it's looking from this side. That bed right there, I edged it up, and then I hit it with weed killer. I knocked the weeds down. This right here, I weeded it, knocked that down. There's some weeds in the cracks right here. I knocked those down, sprayed them with weed killer. This is my edge line coming up to the door. And it is looking fantastic. These are the bushes that I was trimming up. These look absolutely amazing. It really didn't take me as long as I thought it was gonna take me, but they look absolutely amazing. These are the bushes over here. These look good. It is still like some trimmings left, but what I did was I sprayed them with weed killer, because I don't know how new or old the pine bark is, but the thing that I didn't want to do was be trying to rake it out. So I just left it. I left it and I sprayed it with weed killer, and that's gonna take care of it. Next week when I come over here, all of that will be brown, and you won't even be able to notice that it's even in the beds. Y'all saw that I was trimming up these. Here's my bed line. Now, the bed line was kind of thick. It was a little overgrown. So what I did was I took my edger and I edged everything. And then I went back and I sprayed all of the stuff that was left over with weed killer. So next week when I come over here and I edge it, I'm gonna be able to define that line, the bed line, a little bit more than I was today. See, the grass hasn't been cut in a while, and so it's kind of stubborn. So I could have done one or two things. I could have did what I did, or I could have went behind my edge line up with the weed eater, and I could have edged it that way. But what I didn't want to risk doing is hitting a rock or hitting one of these pieces of pine bark and sending that through the window. I didn't want to risk that because it's a lot of windows over here. So I just hit it with my edger, and then I sprayed everything like that right there, like all of those weeds. I sprayed all of that with weed killer. As y'all was able to see, all of the stuff that's back there, I sprayed that with weed killer as well. And I mean, I sprayed a healthy amount. My backpack sprayer is like, I think 4 gallons. It's either 3 or 4 gallons. I think it's 4. I had it all the way filled up, and basically it's dry at this point. Over here, y'all saw me spraying these beds with weed killer. I came in, I knocked them down with my weed eater, just because I don't want big dead weeds in the beds. These hues right here, I did trim them up. My client said that she liked how it looked at the top, so basically all I did was hit the sides, hit the front, and then hit the back. I did the same thing with this one. Over here, the bed was full of leaves. So what I did was I blowed those leaves out into the grass, and I just mulched them up. And then I established a bed line as well. So hopefully you can see that. But that's all the way down. I established the bed line. And then I came behind that after I was finished, sprayed that with weed killer. This is the backyard. The backyard is huge. This whole yard is huge, but it's shaped up very nicely. Over here, I spray all of this with weed killer. Y'all see me when I trim that bush right there. I didn't do anything with these bushes over here just because I really didn't feel like it was any need to. They're small enough that I can let them grow up. Over here, this crepe. It had a lot of growth that was right here at the back, and I didn't want that. So what I did was I trimmed all of that up, and I didn't worry about the top. I don't think that the top is really going to be an issue, but I did want to trim it up. So the stuff that was touching the house, I got all of that. This bush right here, if y'all can remember, it was all the way up. It wasn't even at all, and it had a lot of stuff at the bottom. So what I did was I trimmed it down. It's a little bit higher than waist height, but it's still good. So I trimmed it down, and everything that's on the bottom, I took care of that. I edged it up because it didn't have any type of definition. So I did put some definition on that, and then I went right behind that and I sprayed that with weed killer. Over here behind the AC unit, there were some weeds. Now I do not play when it comes down to weeds behind AC units. I do not play because it's a lot of wires that are involved with AC units, and if you hit one of them, that can be a healthy build. So I never try to like go behind AC unit with my string trimmer. What I do is I hit it with weed killer. So the next time I come over here, which will be next week, all of that stuff right there will be dead. So I'm not really worried about that. This box right here, it was completely covered. You can barely see it. So what I did was I edged around it, and then I weeded it to be able to reveal it. And so that looks good. This is my client's property line. I was having a hard time trying to find it, cutting how I started cutting, and it really was my fault because what I should have done was I should have went all the way around. So I should have came from this way right here, cut all of that, and then went all the way straight down, and then came up by the box, and then I should have came all the way down to establish where my client's property line is. But I didn't do that because I was trying to make sure I was standing in front of the camera as much as I could. But it's fine though. I don't think that I really went too far over. I may not have even gone over at all. So it's fine. This is this part. This is this strip of the yard right here. I was able to cut this, make this look good. I put a brand new blade on my mower this morning, and so man, it was cutting through this grass like butter. Like I didn't even feel it. It was the blades were so nice and sharp, so that was a good thing. But I was able to do all of that in probably about 4 hours. I think I started at, I want to say 8:30, and right now it is 12:53. So yeah, about 3 hours and about 4 hours. 4 hours and some change is how long it took me. But this is the final reveal. This is how it's looking from the front, and man, it looks absolutely amazing. Big, beautiful yard, nice and trim. Man, if they don't get yard of the month, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. Well, that concludes my little walkthrough. That concludes my work that I am going to do for this week at this property. I am going to text Miss Faye and see if she'll come out, take a walk around with me. Hopefully she is just as excited about what I did to this yard as she normally is in my comments on the yards that I've done for other clients. So with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'm out.